Hi guys, greetings to you all, and once again you are welcome to the Stratford Africa channel. This is your number one channel where we get all your important news and match reactions and everything about Manchester United on the continent of Africa and from Ghana precisely. So today we are back here again to talk about more stuff concerning our beloved club. But before we do that, let me use this opportunity to straight away I apologize to my viewers for the dormancy on the channel. It hasn't been easy for me lately, I've been busy with a lot of stuff, and I have been able to feed you guys with top-notch content. But that doesn't mean that the channel is becoming dormant. No, we have big plans coming up, so you guys should keep your eyes fixed on here and wait. There's amazing things on the way. So that being said, I just think I'm sorry and I apologize for that. Don't give up and say I was just a one-time wonder something. No, this is very, very serious. We are coming back strongly, and I've been really very busy trying to get stuff and some other GS for the channel and doing other things. So that being said, I think we are back again, and we are here in this video today to discuss the transfer activity or transfer plans of the club and where the areas that we think that the football club should be looking to strengthen in order to help us push forward and make the next big step coming up next season. So before we go straight into it, I hope you guys are enjoying the Euros and making deal with it for now, because club football has come to an end, and it's the Euros that we are all using to sort of entertain ourselves and waiting for pre-season to start, and then we go into the fresh season. I hope your favorite teams are playing well and making you happy. So just keep on making deal with the Euros. Very, very soon we will be back in action. And keep watching the channel and keep supporting. Please don't forget to share the video and invite more people to join the community. As I said earlier, there's plenty things on the way coming on here, and you will never regret watching this channel or supporting us. So the purpose of this video today is as the title suggests, is the transfer news or areas Man United needs to improve on. So as we speak right now, the season has finished, as I said earlier on, and the transfer window is officially opened as I speak. I hope everybody knows about that, and even some teams have already made moves, gotten one or two players here and there, some free transfers, some have also really done some good transfers for now. But in our camp, it's been very, very quiet, except a little bit of development regarding Jadon Sancho and some centre back news here and there. Apart from that, things has been relatively quiet, and I really expected that. For the fact that United didn't do any deal going to the Euros, I didn't expect any deal to be done. I expect all the deals to come after the Euros, because the international managers, a lot of them wouldn't like disturbances and interactions. So that being said, so in this video we are coming to talk about in general the nature of our squad, what we've been able to achieve last season, and which areas that need to be improved upon, so that next season we can move ahead instead of destroying our progress that we made last season. So basically, that being said, I think I'm going to talk about the areas in order of priority. I have prioritized them in order of importance, you understand, where I think the club should be looking to strengthen, which is very, very crucial. If you've been watching this channel, you know that I've been crying out loud in my previous videos that our current squad has quality, but that quality needs balancing, you understand. So on that note, I start with my first position. The first position I think it is most critical for us to strengthen is the central defensive midfield role, or a holding midfielder. We really have to sign a holding midfielder in to give us a platform to play on, you understand. CDM, or a central defensive midfielder, is someone who plays in front of the defense and protect them against danger. He's the player who's responsible for dictating your game. Everything you do passes through your defensive midfielder, offensively and defensively. So it's very, very, very important that we signed a CDM. And the reason why I prioritize the CDM role is because of these following reasons. Number one, when we sign the CDM, it benefits everybody in the squad. You understand? If you analyze our midfield very well, there's too much square pegs in round holes in that midfield. We realize that in our games, whenever we play, about 70 to 80% of those games, we play two holding midfielders. And majority of the time, it is Scott McTominay and Fred who we pair to play there. And I've said it before that, in my opinion, those two players are doing the job of a single player. And that is not their fault, like none of them is an out and out mid CDM. So singularly or on their own, they can't hold the midfield on their own. So that's why we are forced to play the two of them to make to do the job of one player. So in Ghana here or in the local, you can say that if there were to be metals, we can send them to a blacksmith to sort of melt them and put them together, and then they become one metal, because what they do, they perform only one function. You understand? So McTominay, for example, is not a holding midfielder. Fred, if you look back to his Shakhtar the next days, he wasn't a CDM. You understand? So because you don't have a proper CDM, that's why these guys have been forced to do a job there. And it's not their fault. If you look at McTominay's game, a lot of the time when he's driving forward and hitting the box and coming back and driving, he's a box-to-box midfielder. Fred is equally a box-to-box midfielder. You understand? So you get a very proper CDM who will hold the midfield. Any of these guys can enjoy playing, going forward and coming back. You understand? So that's why I think CDM is a very, very important role. And also when you sign a CDM, it will be able to allow us to free one player up to play offensively. It will give us an option going forward, because we don't have to play McFred, all the two of them to just stand in front of the defense. So we can play that holding midfielder with Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. You understand? And any of these two players can join the attack anytime they want, because they trust that there's somebody behind who will do the defensive work for them. You get it? But a lot of the time we play Pogba and Fred or Pogba and McTominay, and then Pogba is expected to always look out for the defensive work behind him. You see? So CDM role is a very, very important role. If you really want to dominate and progress the ball well and dominate matches, especially the lower blocks, be able to carve them open, we really have to sign the CDM so that we can have an extra attacking player when we are attacking, and that will help us a lot going into next season. Because as I said earlier, the central defensive midfield role is a very, very crucial position. When you look at all the at least the top 8 clubs, everybody has an out and out CDM. It's only Manchester United that doesn't have one. If you go to the camp of Manchester City, they have Fernandinho and Rodri for that role. Liverpool have Fabinho, and even Stanton Henderson does that role for them. You understand? And Leicester City has Ndidi and Mendy. They have a short guy called Mendy, who whenever Ndidi is out injured, he's the guy who comes in and play the role for them. You understand? Some even have, and they have backups, but United doesn't have. When you go to Chelsea have Kante and then Jorginho. These two guys are holding midfielders who help Chelsea to play the way they play. You understand? And even Arsenal has Thomas Partey. It's only Manchester United that doesn't have an out and out CDM. Ever since Carrick retired, we haven't gotten a proper holding midfielder to do the role for us. You understand? We signed Matic. Matic should have been that guy. But unluckily for us, we didn't sign Matic in his prime. We signed Matic when his days were coming to an end. And his legs are gone, so he can't play week in, week out as the likes of Kante and Didi Dems are doing for their teams. So we really need to go out and get an out and out CDM. In my opinion, that is the most important position that we need to sort out this summer, going into next season. So that being said, I think, so what are the possible options that we are looking at in this position? So we can talk about the likes of Wilfred Ndidi, as I mentioned earlier, from Leicester City. He's available. Leicester City has signed another CDM in Boubacar Soumare. So if the right offer comes in for Ndidi, I think they will allow him to leave. So it's all about United willing to pay the money to get him, and he's gettable this summer. Also, there's Frank Kessie at AC Milan. In the game we played against them in the Europa League, that guy really, really impressed me. And I've watched the a couple of times last season, and he's very, very good. He can also help and give our attacking players a platform to play on. There's also Brozovic of Inter Milan, who is currently playing for Croatia in the Euros. He's also very, very good. He's very, very good, you know. And at first, I wasn't considering him, but looking at the fact that Antonio Conte has left Inter Milan, and they said that they are in financial trouble, they will be looking to sell a lot of their players. So when United go in there with the right bit, I think Brozovic is also gettable. And also, there's also Locatelli, that Italian midfielder who has been shining for Italy in the Euros. He's playing for Sassuolo. He's more likely to sign for Juventus though, but I think he's also an option that United should be looking at. He's he's a very, very promising midfielder coming up with a lot of talent, you know. So when we get him, he can also help improve the standard of our midfield. And also, there's also Declan Rice of England and West Ham. That guy, I don't really trust him that much, so that's why I mentioned his name last. Especially with this Euros, he hasn't shown me enough to especially with the price tag that West Ham are going around quoting for him. There's a doubt there. I don't really trust that guy. He's not any special player in my opinion, even though sometimes he plays good though, but I think he's very similar to McTominay. They are very, very similar in kind and the way they play. So to me, if you have options like Ndidi and Brozovic and Kessie Dems, I think we should be looking at getting those guys instead of Declan Rice, especially with the price tag. They are quoting around 70-80 million pounds for him. So that is it for my most important position, which is the CDM. So next on to the CDM is the right wing position. You know, the right wing position is something everybody will agree with me that United needs to sort that one out. Ever since Ronaldo left, we haven't had a very proper right wing to fill up that role. You understand? And recently it's been worrying us a lot. We need to send a right winger who will now also give us another creative outlet. We are too dependent on the likes of Bruno Fernandes to create for us. We need a right winger to hold the width and put in good crosses and also dribble and create chances. And a player in the mold of Jadon Sancho is the ideal player to fill that role. You understand? He's just the icing on the cake in that area. If you look at his numbers for the past 3 seasons in Borussia Dortmund, it's just amazing that the England manager doesn't pick him. I know everybody has been complaining about that on social media. You understand? He's a very, very top-notch player, and he seems and appears to be the #1 target or the #1 signing United wants to make this summer, and that really is exciting. So let's hope and see what happens to that deal. And also in that area, there's also Rafinha of Leeds United. The guy from the beginning of last season, I wasn't really impressed with him, but from the middle of January up to the end, I think he has really learned and improved his game a lot. So he can do a really, really good job for us at the CDM, at the right wing role if we were to get him. Because the price Dortmund are quoting for Sancho, even though it's a bargain in my opinion, but United they don't seem to be willing to pay that price. You see, so if they are not able to pay that price and Rafinha is available for a cheaper option, why not go and get him? And there's also a right winger at Atalanta. I've forgotten his name. It just came to my head now. He's also very good. So our scouts should really be going out and looking to get options if the Jadon Sancho deal, even though the reports coming out indicates that both parties are really, really hopeful that the deal will be done and very soon Sancho will sign for United, because Dortmund has reduced their asking price from 120 million euros to about 90 million euros, and if you bring that to pounds, that's around 77 million pounds. You understand? And with Jadon Sancho, his abilities and his age, if you sign him for 77 million pounds and you really go on and build a good team, I think it will be a bargain, because he can play about 10 to 15 years at Manchester United. He's still young. He's just about 21, 22 years old, you understand? So he can play up till he's 30 something at United. And with that longevity, you can get to recoup your money back. So Sancho is a very, very interesting and good deal there. Fabrizio Romano and the other tier 1 journalists have all been reporting about that deal. And it seems bids are going in and being rejected and being improved, and talks are ongoing. So hopefully that deal will be done after the Euros, and then we can move on. So another very, very important or prioritized position in my opinion is the centre back situation. You know, Maguire is a very, very good player. A lot of the fans never realized his importance until he got injured. So we really have to go and get a very quick aggressive and physical center back to come and partner him. You understand? Lindelof is too soft in my opinion, even though he's also very, very good, especially when it comes to playing a low block. When we have to sit back and defend, he's usually very, very, very useful. But when we open up the game and the strikers has space, space to run at us and be physical, that's when he falls short. You understand? So we really need a better partner. Maguire and Lindelof are very similar in the way they play, so we need a different gravy to mix it up and partner him very well. So what are the possible options in that area? I think the ideal and dream signing in that area would be Rafael Varane of Real Madrid. Everybody will agree with me that he's a top center back, and his performance even for France in the ongoing Euros has been very, very good. You understand? So it's just a pity that Real Madrid are trying to hold on for about 80 million pounds for him. As the other day, reports came out that United have submitted a 50 million pound bid, and Madrid rejected that. The guy has only about 1 year left on his contract, you know. So United are also trying to see how much they can save in that deal. And if Madrid are not offering him a better offer, I think he will leave. And United should be looking out and go all out to try and get him. There's also other reports that indicate that he will favor going back to France to play for PSG. So let's wait and see what happens. So if what's the name, Varane is not gettable, the other day Fabrizio Romano said on Manchester United shortlist there's Pau Torres of Villarreal on it, and they are really considering him, even though he has a release clause of around 65 million euros. So that's too much in my opinion. It's too expensive because he's a good player. Pau Torres is a very, very good player, but if we look at our squad and what we are looking for, he's not the guy for me. Pau is not the guy for me. He's very similar to Lindelof in my opinion. I sometimes even call him the Spanish Lindelof. I mean, you see, I've watched him a couple of times from the semi-finals of the Europa League to the final, and to the games Spain have played in the Euros. I've watched him, and I've been very keen on him. He's very similar to the way Lindelof plays, and I think when it comes to Premier League, he might get bullied just like Lindelof does, you know. So we need to stop looking at Pau Torres and try and get the likes of Varane, and even Ramos is available. You see, he hasn't signed for Madrid. He's left and said his goodbyes. For a stopgap measure, Ramos is not a bad option, you know. We can get him in for 1 or 2 years. That will give us time to really scout and raise the funds to get a very long-term centre back. So to sign Ramos is also a very, very nice option. Yes, look at what Cavani came in and did for us. If you can get Ramos to do something similar at our back, that would be a good deal, even though his wages are a little bit too much though. But I think Ramos is a good option that we can explore. And there's also this Sevilla guy, the Conde guy. I think he's more physical and he will fit more than Pau. You understand? So that being said, I think that is our top 3 areas that we should have to sign, because other teams are going to strengthen. If United doesn't strengthen, our second place finish will just be a mere mirage. You understand? Because Man City is already making moves. You understand? And this our squad is no match of theirs. So if they are going to improve, then we have to improve like 3 or 2 times. You get it? And Liverpool's injuries are not going to be around next season. Chelsea is looking at a very, very solid side. You understand? So next season it's not going to be any joke. So if you don't add more squad depth and quality players to the starting 11, we are not going to find it easy next season. You understand? So we really, really have to try and get these 3 positions. And also there's another very interesting position too. We need to sign a backup right back. Yes, Wan-Bissaka has been good. There's no doubt about that. And he has improved a lot going forward. But he's been playing every single game for us. We can't continue that way. You understand? We need to get someone in to share that role with him, to give him some rest here and there, and also give us a very, very good option when we are playing against a lower block. You see, on the ball, Wan-Bissaka is not that good, even though he's working on it and improving. We need to sign a backup right back. And United have already started making moves in that area. The other day, Fabrizio was saying that Kieran Trippier is one player of United's shortlist, and they've already submitted about 2 bids all to Atletico Madrid, even though Atletico are holding out for a very, very high fee. With Trippier's age, United shouldn't be signing him for about 40 million euros. anything above 15 million, United should walk away from that deal. And even with their backup right back, I think there's an in-house solution. I've said this on this channel before. Bring back Diogo Dalot and give him a chance to share that role with this guy, with Wan-Bissaka. He's a good player, even though defensively he's a bit off. He's not that good defensively. But when we are playing the smaller teams, when they have all their 10 men behind the ball, I think Diogo Dalot can come in and do a very, very good job. So if I was at United, the board there, I wouldn't be spending money on a backup right back. I would pull that guy back from loan at AC Milan. Yes, there was reports recently that he said he respects the club a lot, so he wouldn't be looking to force a move out. But he really enjoyed his time at AC Milan, and if there's a possibility that he can go back there, he'll be willing to take it. And Milan are also interested in taking him back on loan and then with an option to buy later. Do you understand? So he's a good player. We just need to build a system and give him a chance to shine. Instead of you spending another 30, 20, 25 million to sign Kieran Trippier. Even though he's also good and he can share the role very well, I think Atletico Madrid's asking price is too much in that area. So moving on, I think we would have need to sign another striker too, because we don't have an out-and-out number 9. Martial wanted to take that role, but injuries and suspensions here and there didn't help him last season. You know, I am the president of the Martial FC, you know. Yes, Martial is my guy, but I think Cavani staying has sort of solved that issue, so we can rest in that area and put it off for now and save funds to strengthen other areas. So the next season, if Cavani is going, you would have solved the other issues, and then we can focus to get a very, very good striker. You see, because Harry Kane is available and Man City is making moves for him. You see the bid Manchester City put in for Harry Kane. That's a serious club. Yes, they mean business. They put £100 million straight up for Harry Kane, and the information is that they are willing to add players onto that money to get Harry Kane. We understand, but United knows that Sancho's price is 90 million for 2 years now. But they keep going around, trying to save 5 million, 2 million, 3 million here and there. We understand. This is why we've been struggling to replace good players ever since Alex Ferguson and those players retired. You see, so the board this season or this summer, they really have to get to work and solve those fundamental issues in the squad. If not, the progress we've been ringing and shouting all about is not going to help, because if you don't make that step next season and we go back, then what happened from the 3 years we've used in rebuilding? You understand? So this summer is very, very crucial. And even if you remember, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself have said it several times after the season ended that we have to catch up. We are far behind the likes of City and Liverpool and Chelsea them, and we need to sign at least about 3 or 4 first team players to improve our squad so we can catch up with them. So Ole has sent the message to them long ago. It's now left onto them to deliver, and Woodward and the Glazers have to deliver. They really, really have to deliver. You see, it's been a while since we won the Premier League. We are almost becoming a ridiculous team. They have to dip their hands into their pockets and fund the player purchases and build a squad to bring us back to where we belong. Yes, I think this group of players have done well. They have improved, and they need the help of the board to be able to challenge. The quality in the other teams are going to improve. Chelsea are looking out to sign a very, very good striker. You understand? And with the way they play, if they get a clinical player up front, they are going to be unstoppable. City is looking to improve. Liverpool has already signed Konate, and their injured players are going to be back. So we can't go into next season with this similar squad as we did last season. You understand? So on this note, I would like to thank you all for watching and supporting the channel, and urge you to keep supporting and keep sharing the videos. Please like if you like what you are watching, and invite your friends and family to join. Subscribe if you haven't, and then let's stick together. There's more coming on the channel. So until we meet again next time, I would like to once again thank you all and say have a nice time. Bye bye.